I really don't want to be that guy in the hobby who's like, the get off my lawn guy. But some of the stuff that we're doing just doesn't make any sense to me at all. The numbers just don't add up. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. We're going to get into a little bit of controversy today. I'm going to piss some people off, and that's okay. I'm going to hurt some feelings, but that's fine. It is what it is at this point. I'm going to talk a little bit about some hype in the hobby, things that are going on. Before we do that, though, just a quick word for our sponsor, our partners over at Hedge. A few minutes for them, and then we'll jump right into the mix. If you're not familiar with Hedge, it's an online pricing analysis and collection management tool. You guys see me use it all the time on the channel. I use it to check the value and market trends of different cards that I have. You can check the value of raw cards or graded cards from all the top grading companies. They have all that information pulled there on the site. Online pricing analysis tool is constantly being updated with up-to-date pricing in real time. Hedge also has a massive catalog of cards that they have on the platform, and it's growing by the thousands every single day. My favorite thing of all is the comparator that they have, which allows you to compare different prices of the same exact card, but in different grading from different grading companies. So that's really handy whenever you're trying to decide where to send your cards off to get graded. They follow all the prices for all the top sports cards, as well as NFTs and Top Shots, if you're into that. And some more other things that they got currently in development. They're offering a 7-day trial to give you the opportunity to take it for a test drive. Click on the link below if you want to visit the website and get more details. All right. So unless if you're watching this video, you follow this channel, you're obviously into the hobby. You're up to speed on the latest news and whatnot. June 8th is going to begin what is set. The stage has been set to be one of the largest cards to sell in the history of ever, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Lebron triple logo, man, it's right here. Right here. Nope, right here. I'm going to get better at this, I promise, guys. Right here. It's right there. So there's been a lot of hype around this card, and I think that's kind of what's bothering me, right? Ever since the checklist for 2020-2021 Flawless was released, this card has been, from the jump, I mean, as soon as everybody saw that there was going to be a LeBron triple logo man, as soon as the picture came out, everybody went nuts, right? And to be honest with you, I have no idea why everybody's going nuts. The card is not that good. Look, I know you guys know that I don't like LeBron James as a basketball player. I don't like what he's done to the game. We can get into tons of discussion about that, but I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan. So right off the rip, this card has little to no interest to me. But this card is not a very good looking card. I mean, it's flawless, which is ultimately like one of the highest of high end products that there is. I think, Panini's already saw the writing on the wall. They're about to lose all their licenses, and so they're just last ditch attempts and stuff like that to get some money coming in. But the hype around this card has been ridiculous, and I really don't see why. Right? There's 3 logo patches on here. Now I don't know if they have been specified as to like where they're from, what jerseys, what have they been authenticated, and all this other stuff. You got basically a card that is a visual representation of LeBron James. His career, right? His time with the Cavaliers, his time with Miami, and then his time ultimately with the Lakers. Now, I don't understand the hype behind this card. I mean, it's a nice card. Don't get me wrong. Probably be a cool card to have. It's a 1 of 1 for whatever that's worth. Some folks are really into that. But if you look at the card itself, it's not very visually appealing, right? I mean, the logos are pretty, obviously the Cavaliers one is a lot older. The Miami one's, going to be pretty old as well. And then ultimately the Lakers one is the most recent. So it's got the more recent kind of plastic logo patch type of patch. So it's not a very good looking card. There's no autographs on here. There's barely any pictures of LeBron James. It's not like there's a big action shot or something like that. And I really feel like this card is 99% hype. There's really no substance behind why this card is so special, other than everybody saying that this card is special. There's so many backstories about this card, right? The hype that led up to this card, right? Everybody talking about the card, the Willy Wonka-esque, golden ticket manner in which this card was advertised, and people, you got to hit this card. The $500,000 bounty that first came out on it, then the $1 million bounty, and then the $3 million bounty, and then ultimately, one of the biggest artists in our generation, Drake, entering the hobby in his pursuit of chasing down this card, ripping hundreds of thousands of dollars in product, along with Ken Golden, in chasing this card. I mean, there's just the theatrics behind how this card has come to be, and this ridiculously hyped status is, if you step back and you really zoom out and look at the big picture of this entire situation, it's kind of sketchy, right? Kind of sketchy. I'm not even going to talk about how it was pulled, by whom it was pulled, and when it was pulled. We're not even going to get into that piece of it, but there's just some weird, there's just all kinds of stuff going on there that just doesn't really make any sense to me. And rather than just sit here and talk about how it doesn't make any sense to me, I wanted to get into a couple of very practical things about it, right? Number one, the bidding on this card is going to start at $500,000, right? It's projected to be the biggest card ever to sell in the history of ever, which means that it would have to outbid the T206 Honus Wagner that sold for 6.5 or 6.6. I can't remember. I think it's 6.6. That means that it's going to be upwards of $6.5 million that this card's going to sell for. Now, aside from the fact that Ken Golden's going to make a killing on this in buyer's premiums, $6.6 million is a lot of money, and I don't understand why anybody in their right mind would ever pay that much money for a card that, number one, is not very visually appealing, has no real certified authentication as to where these patches came from, what jerseys, what it says game worn, but who knows? I mean, where did they, there's just nothing there. There's no autographs. There's no real pictures of LeBron James. One of them has got him cut off at the bust, right here. And then the other two are just kind of really ugly action shots, or kind of, it's not a very good looking card. Okay. It's not a very good looking card. So I was thinking to myself, if I had $5 million, what could I potentially spend my money on that would be a much better and enjoyable? And now, if I'm a LeBron James fan, let's just say that I am the biggest of the biggest LeBron James fan, and let's say that I've done very well for myself and I have $6.5 million in discretionary income that I can just flush down the toilet, and I decided I'm going to go after this card. I'm going to bid until I'm the last bidder standing, and if the estimates are anywhere correct, it's going to come out to about $6 million. He's going to pay probably $7 or close to $7.5 million with buyer's premiums. What could I do as a LeBron James fan that I would get something better? And I'll show you. Starting off with this. Okay. If you want a real triple logo man, here's a real triple logo man. Okay, we're talking about 3 jerseys that have sold recently on Golden auctions for about $500,000. You can make your own triple logo man. You can literally make your own game worn. 2 of these are autographed. Right? You can make your own logo man. Game worn jerseys, autographed, authenticated, photo verified, photo matched. Right? There's 3 of them right here. Game worn. $500,000 you can spend right there. But let's say you want to go a step further than that, right? So we're talking $500,000 right here. Let's say you want to go a step further. Another $50,000, you can get you a pair of worn sneakers, game worn sneakers. by LeBron James, autographed as well. $54,000, right? Here's another set of game-worn LeBron sneakers, $24,000. We're not even scratching 600 grand yet. We're not even at 10% of what you would spend on that card. And you got yourself 3 game-worn jerseys, autographed. 2 of them are autographed. And 2 pair of game-worn sneakers, both autographed, from LeBron James. Let's just say you don't want to stop there, right? Let's say you're also a big Kobe fan, okay? Here you go. A pair of game-worn Kobe Bryant, Kobe 1s, right? 30 grand. Autographed, game-worn, the whole 9. These are actually sneakers worn by the great Mamba himself. May he rest in peace. $30,000. Right? What are we talking about? 600 and what? Maybe six. Let's call it $650,000. Let's call it $700,000 with $750,000 $750,000 with buyer's premiums involved. You can have 3 pair of game-worn sneakers and 3 game-worn jerseys verified. All right. So let's say you're a big spender, big baller. You want to take it a step further. For another $600,000, you can buy a match set, game-worn, Michael Jordan autographed jersey and short set. $500,000, $600,000. You're at 6.7? You're at 1.3 million. Still not 6 million. But let's say you've been a fan for a long time. You're a big basketball fan, right? Let's say you want to take it a step further. Okay, you're at 1.4 million. Let's throw another million out there. 900,000. You could pick up arguably the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Still holds the record for the most rings. Bill Russell, game worn, finals, game 7 used, photo matched, signed, autographed, $1 million. You're still at 2.5 million there. I mean, I can go on and on and on with stuff like this. The fact of the matter is that I really think hype has gotten too far. We've gone too far with the hype. And we're hyping up cards that are just simply not worth it. They're just not worth it. What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments as always. I mean, am I just angry for no reason here? I mean, I'm not angry, obviously. It's not that serious, right? We're talking about pieces of cardboard. But it's just weird. Just weird. All this hype. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I love y'all. Peace.